What's up, Mr. Knight?
Hey,
Welcome.
live from, it won't be live, it'll be a pre-recorded session in Night Forge Studio.
Not Forge Studios. Well, we welcome Mr. Jason Knight, father of modern bladesmithing, as he is so lovingly been called by many.
I like when I hear that.
Yeah.
I haven't said it yet, but when I hear people say that, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fight you on that. It's like if you want to pay for lunch, which you did, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fight you on it.
Yeah.
No, we gotta let Daisy in. Is that okay?
Yeah, let her in. Come on, Daisy. It's nice to have a blue healer in here.
and me.
Scout's going to wonder what's going to be going on.
Fat healer is what she is.
She is kind of rotund.
Yeah, she can still run up the hill. That's all that matters. She's like a cat, though. She's going to be like, I want to go out now. I want to go halfway in and halfway out.
Oh. Is she full-blooded healer?
Yeah. Mom and dad. Mom was a red healer. Dad was a blue healer. Somebody else was in the wood pile because she's like a black healer.
She's black.
Yep.
I know. I like it. What you been into, man? We haven't done this in a while, and you've been through the mill since then.
Yeah, well, I've been focused on getting my leg to work properly.
Yeah.
My buddy Neil Kamimura and Adrian Curley were here back in October, and they really encouraged me to just suck it up, Buttercup, and get out here and get at it. So I did. So I've been back in the shop since October. I wouldn't say my normal full time, which for me is on the 75-ish hour, arena. Cause I when I'm working on projects, I enjoy them. I love them. And, I'm into it, but like, I'm just trying to stay focused and work on things. I've been change my gears a little bit for this next New Year's.
I know. I'm excited, man. Some of the stuff you've been working on lately.
Yeah.
If you don't follow Mr. Knight on Instagram, what's your handle on Instagram?
It's Jason Knight Knives.
Jason Knight Knives.
Should be pretty easy to find.
If you just search Jason Knight, but I'm sure you've got somebody clone out there wanting to be you.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you can message me unless you follow me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it works sometimes. And I noticed sometimes on Instagram, I got to approve followers, which is weird.
I know. I've been noticing that. I don't know what the deal is with
I don't know what the deal is. It used to be a great platform. I'd post something up and it would sell in about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Now it takes like
I don't see
2 or 3 minutes, which is really irritating.
Until later. Like even your lives, I don't get your live notifications anymore.
So sometimes when I'm live, I go back and delete them. And sometimes when I sell something, I just take it down.
Well, but I used to get notifications when you go live, and now I don't anymore.
Yeah.
I'll just happen to open up Instagram and see you're live, and I catch the last 15 seconds of it.
Oh, man, I got something in that bag I should get out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where at?
Can you lay that suitcase? There's a zippered case in there that has a dagger in it. You can lay it down. It won't. It's
a dagger. It's in the daggers.
It's on the inside.
Oh,
it's like a shorter zippered case.
I think you had it there at the front.
Yeah. Takes. This is weird. I feel. Could you hand me that, Dr. Pepper?
Dr. Pepper.
Yes. Oh, we should. I like cigars. A lot of times.
I know. We should smoke cigars.
I have some. I can go to the house and get them.
It's a really nice thing to do. When you're just talking cigars.
I like them. Yeah. I used to like whiskey, but I've not been able to drink it lately.
Holy moly, man. You did white Micarta on this thing?
Yeah, white Micarta. I did a black one too.
Do you know how hard it is to get people to do anything in a white Micarta?
I don't know why.
I don't know.
It works great.
I love the look of it. Oh, it's his thing. Man.
Do it.
Holy moly.
So, a couple things I've been thinking about for 2 years. I've been thinking about daggers. And probably from 2001 until 2010, I actually did a good many daggers. And then I just kind of quit doing them. And you get stuck on making things. Like, since I started this school, I make a lot of choppers. I like making choppers. But I'm going to burn out on them. I'll tell you another thing I'm a little bit burnt out on is making kukris. So if you passed on a kookery, ha, you that ship ain't coming back. I'm kind of left that for a long time. I won't be going back there.
Yeah.
This year is my like sabbatical year. When you have, and I'm sure you know how it feels to be damaged in a motorcycle accident.
It changes you.
So I'm on my sabbatical year. I've got enough, I perceive I have enough time, and I have a little extra, just a little I've saved up to go learn some new stuff.
Yeah.
So I've been doing a folder every year for the past 3 years with my buddy Tobin Hill, but I haven't focused on it hard enough to retain the information.
Mm-hmm.
So this year I'm going to go back. I'm going to do one with Bill Ruppel, who taught Tobin, and I'm also going to make a lock back with Tobin. And I'm working on a special project with Les George, and we're making an auto. Now, I've been making folders since 2006.
Yeah,
it's 2006, but I'm not known for making them, but it's just like a thing I didn't get into. Like I make them. Mm-hmm. I have a friend, he's got kind of almost all the folders except for one that I ever made.
Really?
And then I design things, so I did the folding kookery. Man, me and Doug sold 1,000 of them under the MK Ultra. And then me and Tactical Elements / Night Elements, we did probably another 1,000 of them over the last couple of years. But that I'm not making that again either. I'm not going to do that again. I'm got a couple new folders coming out.
Nice.
And the best way that I know to get them in people's hands is you got to find other makers to work with you, like Josh Morgan or Kyle Tefford. If you don't know me, Primitive Woodsman and Tepper Armory, all three of us work together on projects. Sometimes you just, well, previously, if you've only seen my name, but it'll be a JK with a gear on them. But we're going to co-brand together. And I told them we should probably come up with a name that we use together. Yeah. And that might be better because they're my boys. I love them. And we promote each other. And I want to keep doing that. And I think one of the best ways to do it is just to come up with why don't we just come up with a name we call the stuff we do together? And that way we elevate it. And it should cost more too. Because, every time I hear somebody go, well, I don't want to, that's too expensive.
Well, I'll tell you.
That's stupid. I hate when people say that.
I am personally super excited about it. Because I'm a huge fan. Anybody that knows Ridge Runner Blades, we sell a metric ton of Primitive Woodsman, Tepfer Armory.
And you're fortunate to get them too.
And I mean, they're awesome. They really are.
You're the squeaky wheel. That's why you get the oil.
I am the squeaky wheel.
That's why I always tell people. It's like, if you order something from me and then it's on you to contact me because I don't take orders,
Yeah.
But it's on you. If you want it, just remind me. And I have a guy,
this guy
that I know he wanted this. And I said, well, I'll give you first right of refusal. And I messaged him. I know he's at SHOT Show now, but I think he's going to lose his opportunity because I don't wait around.
Is he going to go home with me?
Huh?
Is he going to go home with me?
He might have to get it.
Oh.
But even Posty, he's one of the first guys I like to tell people. Was like, Post Malone asked me to make him a kitchen knife and another knife. And I said, no, man, I can't take orders. He goes, not even for me? I'll pay up front. And I'm like, I can't do it, buddy, because other people, I do the same thing. I can't take the order up front. I just because it's a bad habit. It's any knife maker who, and you've experienced this a little bit this year. If a knife maker takes money from you, just pretend like you gave him money and forget about it. You ain't getting the knives or the money. So wait till they get the knives done and then purchase,
Yeah. And you give me some really good food for thought there. Since we've been talking, since I've been up here, and there's nobody that knows this industry better than you, and you know all these guys.
It's a lot of experience. I think about it. I don't take orders anymore, and I'll explain why. My knives have become a commodity, and that's not by my saying. It is by my doing. But they become a commodity when other people buy your knives and they profit from them. That means people will purchase them at the selling price
Yep.
and they'll sell them for 30, 40.
Yep.
And I've seen double. Now, I don't touch that secondary market. And then the dealer side, like in what you're doing, like that would be a special piece, or like the kukri, it's a special piece. Those are one-offs.
Yeah.
You know, you can get one, but how often? Well, once a year, twice. If you're lucky, if you're in the right place in the right time, and that's how it goes. So anytime I see people and they go, "Oh, I want to get one of your customs," I'm like, "Well, here's one," and you don't get it, then you didn't get it. You know, it's not like going and buying a Glock 43X. You can get one anywhere.
I've experienced that same thing in another industry.
Yeah,
like where it became more of a commodity, and the secondary market starts dictating your pricing.
I don't touch it. I let the secondary market make the primary market hot. It makes people like, I want it now. I could get it for $1,500 if I don't screw around, or I can buy it later for $3,000 when some dealers got it.
Yeah. So the dagger thing, is this something you're going to be doing more of?
Doing a lot more daggers this year. One thing is cool. Daggers are sexy. And someone said a really dumb thing to me the other day. Now, what would I do with that? And I'm like, this guy's a friend. He's I will call him a watch collector amongst things. He's bought knives for me, but he's got 3 different Rolexes. I know a couple different Omegas. And I'm like, what's wrong with a G-Shock then? Yeah. Like, what do you need anything beyond the G-Shock? Yeah. It's a dumb thing to say
it is.
When you're trying to talk yourself out of buying something that you know you want. Like, well, you don't do anything with it. You hold it in your hand and watch Rambo or True Grit or something, or open the mail or cut a steak or look at it or just hold it like this and be like,
listen, I get some pretty special knives in the shop.
Robert E. Howard.
So I get pretty special knives in the shop, and I'll tell you, it's hard for me to sell them sometimes because I genuinely enjoy this. I'm not in it just because I'm trying to make this is a terrible industry. I'm convinced to make money in, but I enjoy it. Yeah. And you know, the thing is like when I get a special knife in, I'll keep it. Blue. Do what? Teeth blue?
Yeah, I thought they were blue. No. Okay.
We can fix that in post.
All right, never mind.
I sit there and I open mail with them for 2 weeks.
There's something nice about knives. Do you sell Microtex? Or do you have Microtex?
Sell a snot out of Microtex.
Okay, yeah, that. So
there's
it's like my favorite folding knife.
It's like a Bassinelli collab.
Yeah, that's a Bassinelli. Marfione gave me this one. He has given me a lot of knives. Yeah. He's always very cool to me. Like I love that dude. He's been there for me in like some of my worst times and just been a friend. You know, I wouldn't say we know each other that great. Just been like the friend that you need when you didn't know they were there, you know, but always cool. Yep. But like I love their knives because it's kind of the apex of manufacturing and design. And it's really hard to find a knife that's going to bust out of there harder than that. Like
you won't. You won't. Yeah. You know, I have companies all the time reaching out, trying to get me to sell other automatics, other out the fronts. There you look at them. It's just a Microtech ripoff. That's what it is.
It is, yeah.
And, they're made in the United States. No, they're not. They're made in China and they're assembled here. And I just literally laugh when people tell me this stuff. You know, I should carry this. No, I carry the original. I carry the OG. I carry the best. I don't need to carry somebody else's stuff.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I agree with that.
I mean, there's other people making great like automatic folders for sure.
The only other
out the fronts
guy that I've got automatics from is Tony Jr.
Yeah, and man, I have a couple of his. I just listed them. They were his blade show knives from a few years ago that was hidden in the store when I bought it.
Oh yeah,
and works of freaking art, man.
Yeah,
I mean they are beautiful, absolutely beautiful folders. They're not automatics.
Yeah,
but man,
the mirror polish that they do is, it's not
scary.
Buffed.
Really?
They don't buff. It's polished.
It's actually polished.
It's crazy.
I haven't got any. I am convinced, and I swear they don't tell you this, but I swear there's like levels of Microtech dealership. And I haven't made it to like the Marfion level yet, I guess. I haven't been offered those yet. But they come out with these new Select line that they come out with, and they are fantastic too. They're using a lot of the Baker Forge stuff in that stuff, and they're really, really nice.
Yeah,
I've been able to get some of those.
And the other cool thing about like when we're like on sidestep, but come back to it, they're like the apex of manufacturing, craftsmanship, and artistry for folding knives, in my opinion. And as me and my journey as a knife maker, a stock removal guy, a bladesmith, master bladesmith, going back to feeling like I don't know what I'm doing or know anything. And then I make knives every kind of way. So I meet a new maker, and I'm going to go ahead and say they're a new ignorant maker, because right out the mouth, they go, well, I don't make knives like you. And you know what I say? No shit. I know you don't make knives like you. And I would like to see what you make.
Yep.
But it's not like a competition, because I'm competing against me, and I make knives by forging, by grinding, by CNC, by other people making them, and by other companies making them for me of my designs, and on and on and on and on. So I make them every way you can make them, because I learned how to do that, and I have to now.
Right.
And I want to now. I want to make the knives accessible to people.
Right.
You know, when there's a one-off, like something like this is a prototype. This is it. There was one other prototype, and it's black, and it has 3 holes, and this one has 2. And I'm not making any more prototypes. When this gets made again, it'll be a little more artsy with Damascus, or it'll be a piece that where we collaborate with me and Josh and Kyle. And we have one that's a little bit more like the V42 or the Fairbairn dagger that we're going to do some. And it is, it's sexy. It's a good looking knife. It's a little more sleek. It's not quite, that thick, but I like it's the concept of playing with things. Cool thing about daggers is when you make them, they need to be, you have symmetry, keep the design where it's like sleek, but subtle and not too, like, I hate some of these designs that get too many angles. It's like too many things going on, redundant. And they're like, okay, that's gross looking. After a point, it's ridiculous. But just the subtle, sleek, like Sophia Loren, Raquel Welch, they're thick enough to be sexy, but they're still sexy.
Right.
And old school. Those are definitely too old school.
You were saying like this is your year of like your sabbatical year, and you're out learning things. But you're a master bladesmith. Have you not graduated from learning?
Oh, bro, that just means that's a great thing. In 2007, I was earned my master bladesmith rating, and I knew that moment, that means the beginning of learning. I've got the basics out of the way. And if any of you out there are into bladesmithing and you want to become a master smith, or you are one, don't forget that you at the beginning of learning. Your goal is to learn as much as you can learn in every different discipline that there is that you're interested in. You don't need to do all of them. I'm only doing the ones I'm interested in, and then share back the information. Sharing back the information, you don't do it for free. I've learned that the hard way. Free students don't care. If somebody pays, and they care enough to be there. I care enough to teach you. So it's one of those things. And everybody don't need to be teaching.
I heard I was in Texas this past week, and I was traveling with one of the guys that took with me. He's a bushcraft instructor from here in North Carolina, and young guy, and he goes and takes classes all the time. He is one here, he's one there. And he was him and Raul were talking, and I heard him say something. I'm like, oh, that pretty much applies to life. But he said, there's no graduation class in the woods.
No.
Like, you never stop learning. There's always something new. I think a lot of times people get so stuck in their own egos and their own, like, oh, I'm this now, or their title. Like, they feel like they've reached the apex, no matter what that is.
And that's as far as they'll go. I've seen that, especially with master bladesmiths in the American Bladesmith Society. I can name a couple of them. I'm not really interested in discussing them because they're not noteworthy any longer. You know, they're not worth talking about, but they will make sure that you know that they're a master smith and they've been da 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 da. I played this song, the only song they can play for 37 years, once a year. So that means they play it 37 times.
Yep.
Okay, whatever. I feel like every year you need to learn something new. Like I take shooting classes and I take, I built AK-47s, pocket knives, sword class, you know, like all kinds of stuff. Like I want to learn this, you know, I want to be better at it. And that's painting, you know, like that's the only way I could do is expand my brain. I want to take a watchmaking class actually, because I'm fascinated with watches.
That would be cool.
That's a real trick.
But where can you go do that at?
I know some places
like Switzerland or somewhere.
Well, no, you can go in America. I got a friend he's a watchmaker in Asheville. He's a certified Rolex,
Really?
and Omega and several other ones. But he went to school in America.
Really?
And he's like, he can work on any of them.
You know, do you know, so speaking of personal loan, have you ever met his jeweler or his watch guy?
No, I don't
So
know.
apparently his watch guy is like the dude. Like I think he's in Miami, if I'm not mistaken. But some clients of mine, they buy a ton of Rolexes and stuff all the time, and they use him. They said he's like the best dude ever.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
jeweler.
If you're into stuff like that, you can.
I know if you
find somebody you trust, you'll get a better deal. You know, you get an Apex watch. You get what you're looking for.
Make sure.
You know?
I mean, my thing is I want to make sure I was getting the real one. There's so many fakes out.
They won't let you get a bad one.
Yeah.
They wouldn't sell you one like that. It's a reputation thing. It's just like with me with knives. You know, it's like I don't want to let a junky one go out. Oh, I got a cool thing from Best in LA.
Oh yes, I love that name.
Vidalechon.
I need to get his knives in the shop.
He's great.
He's like one of my favorite Instagram people.
Oh, there it is. Well,
he is like, I don't know.
He's a badass, right?
He's a badass sharpener or grinder, that's for sure.
He's really, this is an example of hollow grinding at its finest.
Oh, yeah.
Repier. He said this is Repier ventilation. But look at that. That's like on a 3/4 inch wheel. He ground that thing.
Oh, see that. Oh, my gosh.
Isn't that cool? That's another one. I was like, what are you going to do with that? I was like, well, nothing, I hope.
I hope I never have to do anything with that.
I don't have to do anything. It's just like my pistol. Like, I don't want to have to do anything with it except shoot steel.
Golly dang. Something else. Best ventilation system.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. I love following him on Instagram. He like is always cutting something and it's like stupid sharp. That would work. There is so much going on here. It's not even funny.
Yeah, it's one of those examples I like to show people is like it's a simple design.
Yeah.
It's elegant. It's perfect. It's just beautiful.
Perfect. It's beautiful.
That's why it's like I'm not a fan of a lot of knives where it's like there's so many angles and so many grinds and so many things going on. Or there's quantum Damascus and engraving and ivory and on and on and on. It's like this is gross at a certain point, but simple elegance, you know, it's like it's a discipline, you know, and that's something that I try to study. It's like making a knife just like it does this, it functions this way, but it's got the lines that still make it like that's a good looking knife. Like that's something I could just look at.
It's just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, there's so much going on there. What kind of sheath does it come with? Oh, Kydex sleeve.
Well,
best ventilation system. Does he make all that himself?
Yeah.
Really?
These are customs now.
That's so nice.
Look at how he does it.
That dude
It looks like he's doing a magic trick when he does
every
something.
time. Like how many times a day does this guy cut himself?
I don't cut myself anymore either. I got good at not doing it, but cool piece. One of my knife people, he sent me a knife when I was in New York City, like a little teeny one. And he's like, I'm not mocking him, but like I always imagined him. So he's like, Jason, this is probably you could hide this out. No one would even know you had it. And if it was not illegal, then just throw it away and I will send you another one.
He does have he has a cool accent. Is he Italian? Is that
French.
French? Oh,
Yeah.
that would get me in trouble.
Yeah, he's cool,
Oh,
man.
You should
Good
edit
dude.
that out.
Yeah, there's a lot of good designers out there. And that's one of the things too. Like most knife makers are not designers.
Yeah.
And you can tell.
Yeah.
And most of them are looking at other people's designs to get their design. And I always say, don't do that. If you want to have something unique to you, don't look at other knives at all.
Right.
Stop doing. Don't look at Blade Magazine. Don't look at any of the. And I think only 4 people look at Blade Magazine anyway.
Probably.
Maybe. I'm making a joke, but it's funny to me. But just don't do that. Look at cars or bugs or architecture or something different, and then sketch. And but if you're, there's certain lines. If you lay down, everybody knows you looked at magazines or you looked at publications to get those lines. And it's okay.
So I meet a lot of knife makers that are purely practical. Like they make a knife for a very practical reason.
Yeah.
Like, bushcraft. They're going to make a bushcraft knife. And to them, like, this is what that means. They don't think about the look of it so much or the art behind it. It's just a very practical thing. So where do those two worlds collide? Between artistic and practicality. And
that's a great question. I would use a knife like the Kephart design.
Yeah.
Aesthetically, it is a damn ugly knife.
Yeah.
However, the inventor of it was not a knife maker. He just said, I want the knife to do this, 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 and this. And so he did it, designed it, made it in the best possible way he could, which is very popular because it's a very practical, usable knife.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with the knife at all. Aesthetically, it can be improved. But the funny thing with some of these people, they'll be like, oh, no, it won't work if you do it that way. Now, I know it will work if you do it that way.
Yeah.
Same thing goes for Nesmuks or any other traditional knife. Like, I like kukris.
Yeah.
I just didn't like the traditional kukris because they had too much curve in them. And I believed, and I'm actually certain now, that most of the makers of the kukris, the kami, however you say it, pronounce it, they've forgotten why they make them. They just make them because it's tradition. So I was asked to judge a kukri competition. All the bladesmiths are from Nepal, and some of them are like small companies. So there was 6 knives submitted, and I picked one which was the best, and it had to do with the way the handle was made, certain features of the design, and being able to use it and it still feel balanced. So that's how it kind of.
Sure.
And the blade was like a 14-inch blade, pretty big knife, which that's a lot more knife than most people are used to. But I could tell that they remembered, like, we're making this because of this, and the other ones were making them because, well, that's just how we do it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's how people make knives. Like if somebody recreates a Kephart or any kind of Scandinavian ground knife, we have really hard damn wood in America. And over there, they have wood that's easy to split, furs, and all these things that are easy to split or easy to get through. I was telling you earlier, it was like, if somebody takes one of my knives and they go, well, I want to baton it through stuff. So then you never get another one. And then if you break it doing that, I just think you're stupid. Because I've seen those same people hammer a Scandi ground knife or a bushcraft knife through a piece of wood with an axe or a hatchet. Whoever did that, I don't want to talk about it. You know who did it? I've seen people do it. And I'm now tell me why
dude, it is
that hatchet isn't the more appropriate tool instead of ruining your knife. You got one knife. I guess saw a guy the other day. He's splitting wood with the Swiss Army knife. He goes, if you want to baton this Swiss Army knife, it was like, you're a dumbass.
Yeah.
You need to have your hands tied up, and you're not to be allowed to use knives.
But it is such a thing, man. Like, I can't tell you how many times somebody emails, like, does this not baton well? And you know what I do? I reply back with a link to my axes that I sell. Like that's what you want to use for that. Now, in all fairness, out on the West Coast, in Norway and Sweden and all those places, it's not going to hurt the knife probably because there's nothing there to hurt it. It's like kind of paper. But if you're here, if you're in most of America,
Well,
You have no
especially
business doing that.
East Coast hardwoods, hardwood.
I mean, it's all the way Midwest. Like,
fir, hemlock, spruce, all those. The hardest thing on a spruce tree is the knot.
yeah,
And that will chip a piece of steel. But when you're batoning a lot of these softer woods, you just hit it, it'll pop in half. I split plenty
I
of
still
wood.
don't know why you wouldn't want to use an axe.
I'm with you on that one. We could
Good.
leave that subject open for the trolls
Yep.
and freaking out. And that could be a fun subject for late night discussion. And let the trolls watch, but don't let them answer.
So if you, they can't answer. You got to comment and tell us why.
You gotta let them stew a little while.
Yeah.
No, actually, somebody lives in a neighborhood,
Yeah, that's
I didn't grow up in a neighborhood. I grew up in a swamp, so bushcrafting is what we called playing in the woods.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of kukris, hey, Ro, hand me that. That big boy. This is one coming to the shop. Tell us about that.
Oh, I love this one. This is an integral carbon steel kukri with a palm mill. I've only done probably about 3 carbon steel kukris with pommels, and this is the only integral one I know that I've done with a pommel. So what I like about these is they cut like crazy, they chop like crazy. There's enough mass, and these are big. So was it 13, 14 inches? Just doing the art of the integral. That's the fun part. But making a pommel on one, I used antique Westinghouse micarta. I have this is a linen and this is a canvas, and I put them both here on the same piece, and then that's African blackwood. Tang goes down through here, and then this is a 3/8 inch thick threaded tang, which 3/8 inches bigger than 1/4 inch, and that's what I generally use on big knives.
Oh.
And I'll thread the pommel and screw them on, and then
Wow,
that one's hard to see. Sometimes you can see them. Sometimes they go back and weld them so you can't see them all. But fun knife to make, awesome knife to cut with. This part of a kukri is more like what we would think of as Scandi edge. This is flat and convex, and then they get thicker a little bit more up here. The back is a swedge that's not sharpened. I have sharpened them before, but I don't see any reason to. And then the fuller, number one, is because it looks cool. Number 2 is because it looks cool. And then number 3 is because if you're chopping through stuff, it does give you a little relief spot, like an S-grind in a kitchen knife to release whatever.
One thing I like about a kukri is the way this recurve is. It really pulls everything together when you're cutting with it.
It does. Everything wants to gather into that spot.
You could really get up on this blade really nice.
A lot. Yeah, I've used it like a draw knife before too. That's why it's pretty handy blade.
Yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful piece. So this guy will be on the store. I don't imagine it'll be on there long. So if you
feel
want,
like I've enjoyed it long enough.
Doesn't sound like you're going to be making any more of these either.
It's going to be a long time.
Long time.
It's just time to move on to another thing. And I've got ideas, especially exploring the pocket knives and folders.
I'm excited
it's something
about that.
I really need to study. And I make swords too. I enjoy making swords. I got a commission for a sword, like a unlimited budget almost, for knife makers. I would say it's like the budget is
unlimited,
open.
Yeah.
It's not unlimited, but it is open. And so it'll be fun to make because it'll be a place where I get to learn and make something cool and make like a family heirloom sword. And same guy, he commissioned 4 integral Damascus kitchen knives. So I've already got them forged, hardened, and tempered. It's just a process of finishing them now.
Are you going to be teaching classes this year?
Yeah, well, we're teaching one today. I got my friend Jonathan here. We were supposed to have a class with Joshua Prince, who's one of my favorite bladesmiths, an excellent maker. And for all the knife makers who live within 200 miles of here and they didn't sign up for the class, like, I wish I could take a class with Joshua Smith. I hope you never get to because you didn't sign up for money. That's just mean, isn't it? Oh, okay, I'll drop that. I hope you do get to take one. Come take one here. We'll get him back.
But
Adam DeRozers is coming to teach.
I think there's from just me looking on the outside. Okay. I have assumed that you would have to know something about forging to come to one of your classes.
Nah.
And I didn't realize that was not the case.
Most people who think they know how to forge, when they
don't.
come here, I find out that they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about some of them are master bladesmiths.
Yes.
And I was just like, no, bro,
So if somebody wants to take a class, guys, I watched Jason teach up here. If they want to take a class from you, how do they do that?
go to my website and send me an email. And that's the easiest way.
Okay.
And you can say, hey, I'm interested in taking a class. What do you have
You
available?
teach private classes too, won't you?
I do private classes also.
Yep.
They're a little bit more expensive, but they're more intensive because you don't have to contend with any other people. And sometimes you just don't want to be around other people or learn with them. You can be by yourself, and we end up making more stuff because it's like I'm the book and you ask me the question and I'll tell you the answer. And bladesmithing, there's very few things. I can't think of anything I couldn't forge. Yeah, I can forge pretty much anything we could imagine. It wouldn't be.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult because I'm thinking, it's snowing now.
Salt man in this stone. Heck yeah. So if they want to take a class with you, they just need to reach out via email. And you have a whole schedule on your website too, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Like with other people coming in?
Yeah, I have one of the ones coming up soon is one of my best friends, Adam DeRosiers. We've known each other for 20 years at least. He was one of my students actually a long time ago. And I've learned a lot from Adam. I've learned a lot about integrals from Adam. And Adam's going to be teaching an integral chopper class and an integral hunter class. Sign up if you're not a loser.
So if you're not a loser.
If you're a bladesmith and you think you can make integrals, trust me, you can't. I've seen them. The first guy making integrals that I saw was Rodrigo Sofredo. And Adam was making them, but he went down there, him and his wife, who's also a master bladesmith, went to
Wow.
what was that place? Brazil, to learn how to make integrals his way, keyhole integrals. And I learned how to make keyhole integrals from watching their videos that they were posting while they were down there. And it's been I don't really make keyholes anymore, but I make integrals fairly commonly, not always the same. A lot of kitchen knives. I like kitchen knives that way.
You know, one of my favorite makers that we've got in the shop is a student of yours. Tim Molesky, you introduced me.
Oh, Molesky's great. Yep.
I mean,
like Tim.
Ouroboros Forge.
Yeah, he's a really good dude.
I've got some choppers from him right now that are just works of freaking art, man.
Tim's a good maker. He's a good student too.
He's a good guy. On top of it, I mean, some of the stuff. I remember when
He's been through some rough times.
He has, but when he I had just brought on a friend of his, Corey Bowman, down at Bowman Made Knives. Yeah. And him and Tim are really good friends. And Tim happened to reach out to me. He kept reaching out, but I can only bring on so much at one time. And so, I was like, who is this? Who is this guy? And so I was coming home from Tennessee. Before I called him, I was like, I'm going to call Jason Knott and see if he knows this cat. Yeah. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's Tim.
Yeah. Tim was been in my class twice.
He's coming down to take a class.
Yeah,
at some point.
Whenever he sets it up. Yep.
With somebody.
Yeah, I enjoy him. He's a good dude.
Man. But yeah, it's just cool because I can look. I've had people get upset with me because I've called them out on it. But I can look at a knife and see if they used you as inspiration. It's very, it's very obvious.
Well, it's been around a long time now.
Yeah.
I've been doing that since 2002 or 3 at least. And it has a look. It gives the knife a little bit of aggression, and it makes it look like it's moving forward. So yeah, it's popular. It caught on. That's good. Do I get paid for it? No, but I'm happy to share it. I'd like to get paid for it. Yeah. I get paid for it when I make the knife.
So when everybody sells one of your a knife that's been inspired by you, they just need to send you 5% or 10%.
Whatever they feel like.
It'd be like a tithe.
Yeah, any donation is accepted. No, it's always, I always notice people go, well, there's so many designs out there, and there's not a new design out there, and And if I guarantee you, if you think you designed, somebody else already designed it, and that comes out of the mouth of people who don't design knives, and they make knives, but they don't design knives. And every time they say the same cliche thing, I was like, "What are you jealous? Like, don't be jealous because it's kind of miserable." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I couldn't just make knives. A lot of people can, and then they could just make somebody's knife and make it kind of their own. I was like, I had to invent my way of making knives and then invent my style and then decide I was committed to making them, you know?
I'm convinced that pride and jealousy are the killers of inspiration.
No, big time. Especially in that. You can
it's
do a lot of hate.
art. I'm saying like art in any facet. It will kill your inspiration.
I'm impressed with the snow.
It's laying down thick
feel like
now.
I'm about to take a nap right now.
Just lay out there in the
I'm
snow.
being overwhelmed with something. Maybe they put MSG in that
Your soup.
potato soup. Good night. I've never had that before.
So other than knife making,
Hanging.
what do you enjoy?
Grandkids. Grandkids are cool. Enjoy my grandkids. Edith is a little over 2 now.
Wow.
Her birthday was on the 28th. Eli is 8 months. That's Edith's little brother. And then William is like 5.5 months. That's Tiger Lily and Liam's baby. But they're fun. I like seeing them. I'd love to see them every day, but I don't see them every day now. I maybe see them once a week, sometimes twice a week. But they're cool. I can't wait to. Well, I can. I'm not in any hurry for them to get bigger, but I enjoy hanging out with them.
Yeah.
And seeing what they're gonna do.
You have any other hobbies at all?
I don't know. Used to be riding motorcycles.
Yeah.
I kind of lost my interest in that for some reason. I like to shoot. I like guns. I like wandering about is probably my favorite hobby. Like,
yeah,
if I have, hey, I've got 2 months and I don't have to be anywhere. I was like, I'm going to make a big circle.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of circle you say? I was like, all the way across the country and all the way up and all the way this way and all the way back around.
More of a flat earth circle.
Nah, I like to wander about it. It's fun to just go see places that you're imagining. You know, like I remember one year, it was my wife's birthday is on July 5th. And she was like, I want to go to Mount Rushmore. I'm like, all right, let's go. We got in the car. Drove day and night. We were at Mount Rushmore the next day. Hung out for a day and drove back home the next day. Rent just tandem driving the hell out of the car. But, well, we made it. It was cool.
So you got to see Mount Rushmore.
You got to see Mount Rushmore and Crazy Horse, which was more impressive to me.
Crazy Horses.
Because Mount Rushmore can fit in his armpit. Yeah. I like that. But, yeah, I like to do that. I like to learn stuff. I don't know what else. I don't have time for a lot of hobbies. I listen to a lot of books. I used to read a bunch, but I'm working on listening to stuff. So
I think the audiobooks are the best thing to happen to our culture.
Yes.
In a long time.
Well, one of my hobbies is going to be soon. Just my wife took a very small amount of money last year and put it into some investments, like literally less than $400. And just playing around and having fun, it's double, tripled. It's like crazy. It's like, wow, that's just goofing off and learning. So there's a learning process and something you can have fun with. And if you're paying attention and you're reading up on it, it'll make money, and it's a fun thing. So
you're gonna be a crypto kid?
I don't even get it and how I had some of that and then got rid of it because I didn't know it was going to be anything.
Man, I was like right when Bitcoin came out, like I couldn't even figure out how to buy it. I tried to go buy some and I just lost interest.
Yeah, we bought $100 worth of it when it was a nickel range. Like
right when it first came out. And I was like,
all I did was buy $100 and now I'm a gazillionaire. I don't even know what to do with all that money.
Oh boy, give me that challenge. Give me that challenge. It looks like you need to go take a nap.
I'm getting super sleepy, bro, after lunch, and I get up at 5 o'clock every day.
Get
whether I
you.
want to or not. But I'm like,
Well, this has
I
been
am
fun.
getting sleepy. Yeah.
And you got a class to finish
I
up.
went out on you just then, didn't I?
Yeah. Yep.
That's another thing about getting old. You can be sitting there, hold on a minute where I sit a spell. What? What just happened?
Well, thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah, thanks for being here as always. I always enjoy your company.
It's
You
fun.
inspire each other to
That's the goal.
live in the moment that we have, not the future, not the past. Just do the
Right
best
now.
you can right now, and that's what
Worry
you got.
not about tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a waste of time.
It really just drags you down.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Peace.
Yeah, I did fall asleep there for a second. I was getting mesmerized by the smell.